Okay, how to map product personas and why is it important? So most products fail because teams build for imaginary users. They make an assumption of a great solution. They don't focus on a problem statement itself and don't dig deeper into who is it going to serve. And that's important. You cannot just say it's going to be for everybody. And you should not be going for a wide range. You usually should have at least five, six personas nailed down before you build anything like a prototype even. So why personas still matter in the AI era? Well, because AI doesn't really change the flow of how the products are going to work and who they serve either way. And so AI just 10x's your productivity, but doesn't necessarily change that much of the entire flow. And so personas turn product chaos into product clarity. They answer questions that matter most. What features do we build first? How do we price effectively? So if you understand who your persona is, you then understand what price range is affordable for them, what is available, right? You also know what marketing actually works. Where do they sit? Where do they see your ads and your product? What and then what message converts? Like how are you going to message to them about your solution? Okay, so what a persona actually is, it is not a demographic. It's not just, okay, women between 25 and 40, startup founders, busy professionals. That could be a highlight, a part of the description, but it is not the core. You can still have personas that are in the same age range, but they have different needs. So a persona is a pattern of behavior plus motivation plus pain, so defined by problems, goals, fears, habits, and decision triggers. So we're mapping how people think and behave because products don't solve demographics. All right, so now we need to define the problem that your product solves. So these are the examples, PM learning, like upskill PM product school that I recommend, fitness app that drives formation of consistent habits, and for example, AI writing, so creates faster, efficient content and workflows. So how do you frame it? You are saying, okay, our product helps people who struggle with something achieve something, right? So example is our product helps non-technical founders validate ideas faster. And this is why we usually start with the product idea and the vision. When you're building the vision, if you have looked at that exercise before, you are figuring out your customers, your product needs, and what your product is going to have versus what your customers need. And then there's a business value of the product, and this is how you build your product vision. So it all comes from customers who you need to be talking to continuously, even when you've built the product itself. Okay, so let's go back to the deck. So you want to collect real data, sources of persona data. This is customer interviews and sales calls. As I was mentioning, you have to keep talking to your customers ongoingly, getting some of their feedback. At first, you get the interview. This is where you don't even talk about your solution, you talk about the problems that they potentially have and how they solve it today and what is it that is working for them and what's not working for them. Why do they like it or why do they dislike the current solution? And then you're talking about other problems that maybe the solutions are not solving. Usually, this is where customers will give you way more details about the current headaches of the solutions that are available to them. And if you don't do it in person or via the Zoom call or something like that, you are not going to get as much information. That is why I always tell my students that you have to do a real interview where you have a conversation with a human. Okay, Reddit forums, online communities. This is where you get a lot of feedback and a lot of comments of people who are using solutions or having a problem, right? So you can collect that data. Support tickets and user feedback. So this is where you're already working on a product and you already have customers. This is a different stage, but this is where you're also getting this feedback loop on the existing solution that you have. Reviews of competitors. This is really important. They're going to talk about the minuses of your competitors, which you want to ensure that you can cover. Analytics and behavioral data. That will help you understand where your customers drop and how they use your products today. Or again, this is more of the phase where you already have a product working. And user surveys. This is again where you have some sort of a solution or a version, a prototype that you're able to show to customers. Look for patterns in repeated complaints, emotional language, workarounds people use, and what people tried before you. Magic question: what happened in your life that made you start looking for a solution? Now, you should identify behavioral segments. What are the motivations of your persona? What is the urgency level and skill levels? So, motivation, career growth, saving time, making money, reducing stress. Those are the examples. Urgency, curious someday, actively researching or need solution now. A skill level, beginner, intermediate, expert. So these are the kind of questions you want to understand for each of your persona when you describe him or her. Build persona profiles. Now, in each persona profile, as I mentioned, you usually have 5 to 6 personas, sometimes less, sometimes more. You want to have a name, a situation, main goal, biggest pain point, a fear, a trigger, objection, and success definition. Now, when it comes to a name, I want to remind you that this does not need to be a fake person and it doesn't need to be a specific person. You don't want to put like a specific name of a specific person, but it is a combination of a set of people who are with the same segment, right? So you can call them Jane and then combine all the descriptions of similar issues, similar situations, similar type of a person. So here's an example of persona in action. She is a career switcher. Her name is Chloe. She's stuck in a job with no growth. Her goal is to move into tech within 6 months. Her pain point is she doesn't know where to start. Her fear is wasting money on useless courses. Her trigger is seeing someone like her succeed. So objection is, what if I'm not technical enough? Success is landing a new job in product. All right, so you want to turn personas into product decision. Once you've built those personas, those are the map, or that's the map where you can see which features to build based on their needs and how many of users, of similar users, need the same feature, right? So if majority of your users need feature A, you're going to build that versus feature B that maybe only a niche of people will need. You will also want to see who's going to be paying. If it's only paying customers who need feature B and feature A is popular, but nobody's going to pay for it, still your business goals as a company need to be prioritized. So you need to figure out, okay, will I go for money or will I go for potential growth? Now, our product brain will tell us follow the money, right? Because if you don't have the money, then you don't have a way to continue going. So that's like the best way to go about it. Okay, your persona mapping checklist. Define the problem, collect real data, segment by behavior, build persona profiles, map their journey, and make decisions. When you have your set of personas, this is your main main document that helps you understand which direction to go, what to build, how to market, where to market, and your features get clearer, your customers feel understood because you're talking to them, you know who to interview and then survey later and continue to build those connections with. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one.